I want you to really think about that word. Safe. When it comes to your money, especially now, as you are sitting on the precipice of retirement, or maybe you've already taken that leap, safe is the ultimate destination. But let me tell you, there is a major trap hiding in the retirement world, and if you don't understand how your company's 401k is set up, you could find yourself in a financial mess you never saw coming. Today, we are talking about a very specific, highly misunderstood financial lifesaver called a safe harbor 401k. And if you are thinking, Susie, I'm retired, or I'm about to retire, why do I care about 401k administration? Oh, you care. You absolutely must care. Whether you are an employee trying to max out your catch-up contributions, or you are a small business owner trying to look out for your employees while saving for your own future, this one concept changes everything. Let's start with the problem. And it is a massive problem that triggers a very real fear for people who are trying to build their nest egg in these final, critical years before retirement. Imagine this scenario: you are 58 years old. You are in your peak earning years. You realize you started saving too late, or maybe you just want to supercharge your accounts. You do the math. In 2026, the IRS says you can contribute up to $24,500 of your own salary into a 401k. And because you are over 50, you are allowed a catch-up contribution of an additional $8,000. If you're between 60 and 63, it's a massive super catch-up of $11,250. So, you make the decision. You sacrifice. You cut back on dinners out, you don't buy that new car, and you aggressively contribute $32,500 or more of your hard-earned money into your company 401k. You are feeling proud. You are feeling secure. Then, February of the next year rolls around. You get a letter in the mail from your employer. You open it up, expecting a standard tax document. Instead, the letter says, "Dear employee, we failed our annual IRS nondiscrimination testing. Here is a check for $10,000. We are returning your contributions." What? They are handing you back your money. And not as a bonus. They are refunding your tax-deferred retirement savings. Which means two horrible things happen instantly. First, that $10,000 is no longer growing tax-sheltered for your retirement. Second, that $10,000 is now considered fully taxable income for the year you tried to save it. You now owe ordinary income tax on money you thought was safely tucked away for your future. How does this happen? It happens because of federal laws designed to make sure employer-sponsored retirement plans don't just benefit the bosses and the highest earners while leaving the lower-paid workers with nothing. The IRS runs tests every year, specifically, the actual deferral percentage test. If the average, everyday workers in a company aren't contributing enough to the plan, the IRS puts a hard cap on how much the business owners and highly compensated employees can put in. And who is a highly compensated employee? In 2026, if you make more than $160,000, you are in that group. If your company's everyday workers don't participate, your contributions get capped, and your excess money is thrown back at you like a hot potato. This is where the fear sets in. How can you plan a retirement when you don't even know if you'll be allowed to keep the money you save in your 401k? How can you sleep at night knowing your tax planning could be blown to pieces by next February? Well, my friends, that is where the safe harbor comes in. A safe harbor 401k is a brilliant, IRS-approved plan design that completely bypasses these restrictive, frustrating non-discrimination tests. It is literally a safe harbor, a shelter from the storm. Under a safe harbor plan, the employer makes a promise. They say to the IRS, "We promise to automatically contribute to our employees' accounts, no matter what." The employer simply deposits at least 3% of every eligible employee's salary directly into their 401k, even if the employee contributes absolutely zero of their own money. But here is the most critical rule of a safe harbor 401k, and this is where you need to pay close attention: all safe harbor contributions made by the employer must be 100% vested immediately. Let me explain what that means. In a traditional 401k, employers often use a vesting schedule. They might say, we will match your contributions, but if you leave the company before 3 or 5 years, we take that match back. Not with Safe Harbor. The second that matching or non-elective money hits your account, it is yours. If you work there for 1 week after the contribution lands and then retire, that money walks out the door with you. It is your money. Period. So, let's talk about your actionable takeaways, because I never want you to just listen to information, I want you to use it to secure your life. If you are an employee who is within 10 years of retirement, go to your HR department tomorrow. Ask them point blank, is our company 401k a safe harbor plan? If the answer is yes, you can breathe a massive sigh of relief. You can aggressively budget to hit your maximum contribution limits, including your catch-up limits, without the fear of having your money rejected and returned to you. If the answer is no, you need to ask if the plan has failed its non-discrimination testing in recent years. If it has, you must prepare yourself for the reality that you might not be allowed to save as much as you think, and you should have a backup plan, like a Roth or traditional IRA, ready to go. If you are a small business owner who is trying to save for your own retirement while retaining great staff, if you do not have a Safe Harbor 401k, you need to call your plan administrator immediately. Yes, giving a mandatory 3% or 4% match to your employees is an expense. But it is a tax-deductible business expense. And more importantly, it unlocks the door for you, the owner, to max out your own tax-advantaged retirement accounts. You deserve to save for your retirement just as much as your employees do, but you cannot do it effectively if your own plan is constantly failing IRS tests. Remember, people, retirement is not the time to be playing guessing games with your money. You have worked too hard, for too many years, to let administrative paperwork or IRS testing failures dictate your financial security. Find out where your money is. Find out how it is protected. Stand in your truth, understand your plan, and protect your hard-earned wealth. Because nobody is going to care about your money more than you do.